Whoa, thank you. Standing ovation, I can leave, right? It's over? Thank you so much. And thank you for inviting me to come to this group. I guess you saw the two little things. This movie is about all the people that influenced my life from childhood. Just very briefly, my mother left me when I was 2 years old, kidnapped me when I was 5, took me on these adventures where we lived in cars and that. And the movie starts out some of that where you see where we ended up in Michigan when I was 10 years old. My father always looking for me. Ended up in a little town called Seligman, Arizona on Old Route 66. Somebody's shaking their head. They know where that's at. And that's where I met a gentleman who became my father figure, Juan Delgadillo. And you'll see him featured in the movie. So much influence on my life. He taught me how to give back. He taught me always be grateful for anything. Don't say, oh, woe is me, I don't have anything to eat, because somebody's going to help you out. But the biggest thing was give back. He taught me the ethics, the integrity. He taught me that character is in fact developed, it is not inherited. And always develop that character, and you'll keep doing that throughout your whole life. When I was starting 7th grade, my mother said, I can't afford you anymore, and left. You're on your own. And Juan arranged for somewhere to take me in to live for a while. And that's where he taught me also. Now, this is in the 50s, and these terms weren't popular. Frank turned everything that is negative into a positive. And I said, what do you mean? My home, I'm gone. I don't know what to do. And at that particular time, I was a dishwasher and was making $26 a week, which every penny went to my mother. And he said, I've arranged for you to live with a widow Garcia, and she's going to charge you $20 a week room and board. And he said, the first time in your life, you're going to have $6 a week in your pocket. He said, that's one of the positives. The other positive, because we live in a little trailer, didn't even have a bathroom, barely a little heat. And he said, you're going to have your own bedroom for the first time in your life. You're going to have indoor plumbing for the first time in life. And plus, Mrs. Garcia is the best cook in town. You're never going to worry about a meal. And on top of that, she got the first television set ever in Seligman. So all of those negatives into positive. Keep doing that. But the biggest thing was give back whenever you can. And I used to say, Juan, I don't have any money. He said, you don't have to have money to give back. Give back with your time. He said, look at, for instance, Mrs. Garcia. She's a widow. Look at her yard. It's full of weeds. The house needs painting. You're big enough, you're old enough to do that because she's always helping you out. Look at Mr. Ortega. The family has an old wrecked caboose off the Santa Fe line that they brought in, and that's going to be their home. They're trying to fix that up, and they're helping you too. You can give back by helping them sand, paint, clean all that up. So that's a lesson I always learned. Always be grateful, and always when you can, give back. This movie is the tagline of the movie is everyone can be a hero, and you can be a hero in your community, especially with the business community, with your brand, how to enhance your brand by giving back to the community. It's so easy to write a check. Oh, here, I did a nonprofit, whatever it is, I wrote a check. Who reads about that? Nobody. If you get a big event where people recognize your brand, just think of the public you get, the publicity, especially the media, if the media will pick it up. There's your brand splattered all over the place. So again, I want to thank for that. And I think there was some questions we're going to ask, or?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a couple of questions
yes,
for you,
sir.
Frank, and then we're going to open the room. So for you, why do you think it's so important for people to really, because obviously it was something that happened to you and it helped you personally, didn't it?
Yes. Well, and there was another point in my life when I was a highway patrolman. I was on a squad. Anybody remember the CHIPS? Look at how many old people are in there, right? I was on a motorcycle squad with Arizona Highway Patrol, 10-man squad. We worked the whole state of Arizona. And this is during the period of CHIPS. People that don't know what CHIPS is about, it was 2 California Highway Patrol motorcycle officers, Ponch and John, and their adventures. It was very popular with the younger set. And as we would ride into town in 2-man teams, just like CHIPS, all over Arizona, all of a sudden the kids are yelling, hey, Ponch, hey, John. And we thought this is going to be great PR, and we asked permission to go into the grade schools, talk about bicycle safety, which they allowed us to do. Now, the kids could care less about bicycle safety. They wanted to get on the motorcycles when that was fine. So maybe a little bit got in there. And it developed a good relationship with the kids all over the state. In 1978, I was involved with a high-speed chase with a drunk driver, 80 miles an hour in a 25-mile zone. And another drunk driver pulled directly in front of me, hit him broadside at 80, and was pronounced dead at the scene. Now you're saying, okay, he's here. My partner tried to revive me. He couldn't do it. He called in our code 963 officer killed in the line of duty. And an off-duty emergency room nurse from California, I like California, by the way, stopped, and she said, please, let me try. He said, he's gone. There's nothing. She did, obviously good, didn't pay any attention to him. For 4 minutes, she performed CPR, heart massage, and so on, and obviously brought me back to life. And it took about 6 months to recover from that injury. Traumatic brain injury, skull fracture, broken bones. And before I was ready to go back to work, I had to go talk to the counselors. And the counselor makes sure that I'm okay mentally and physically to go back to work. And the last day in there, the counselor said, Frank, God spared you for a reason. It's up to you to find that reason. And 2 years later, I met this little boy, Chris, 7 years old, who you saw on here, that God introduced us, and that was the reasons for surviving. And through that, just all the people that have helped us, look at this amazing organization that we started. My wife is in the back. Kitty, wave, please. That's Kitty. That's the real Kitty, not movie Kitty. But she also, I went to her and said, and we weren't married at the time, I just said, I'd like to start this foundation. What do you think? She said, let's go for it. It took 6 months to get the foundation going. And we, like I said, we had this idea and made it work. And at the time, nobody said, nobody's heard of this. It's not going to work. And we found out, turn that, again, negative into a positive. And after we've granted our first official wish in March of 1981, little boy wanted to go to Disneyland. I came back to the board and I said, someday we're going to have chapters all over the United States, all over the world, and we'll be granting wishes to children all over the world. They all laughed at me, except that lady back there. And I got my wish 3 years later when she said, I do. Come on, ladies. Oh. But as Ronald said,
that was the right thing to say.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Good move.
Yeah. And that and dinner tonight, and she'll be happy. So, but as he said, because of this one little boy that inspired us, we've now granted over 450,000 wishes all over the world. With a wish, I think you mentioned every 28 or 38 minutes, that changes in that. 36 international officers on 5 continents, 63 chapters in the United States, again, all because of one little boy who wanted to be a motorcycle officer.
And you?
Well, I had the idea, but it took a lot of people to make it happen.
And another question, and that's it. Frank, because obviously there's a meaning to it, but what does it actually mean, everyone can be a hero?
You can be a hero in your community, and like I said, the whole thing is about giving back. We live on police retirement, but we give back in our community, especially my wife. We got a mile that we clean up the road. That's giving back. I am, through the Make-A-Wish, because I was involved there, I serve on several boards throughout the United States so that I can give back my time, expertise, supposedly. One of the biggest ones is U.S. Vets. And this is a time thing. I don't make money, just my time, my suggestion. U.S. Vets is all over the United States, and we find the homeless veterans. We bring them in, we get them into temporary housing, we get them into counseling, we get them job training, job placement, permanent housing. And 89 cents of every dollar to that foundation goes into the mission, which is almost unheard of in the nonprofit world. The average is 70 cents. I set on another board, Candles for Hope, that I can give my time. It's on Long Island. We find the homeless children in the shelters, that kids that have never had a birthday party. We find out their birthday, we bring in a great big thing, all the stuff that kids would love for a birthday party, age-appropriate gifts, along with what they need is the underwear, socks, clothes, and so on. The big one we've just started, we're going to hopefully get approved here real quick, a 501c3, is the Wounded Blue. When a police officer gets hurt in the line of duty, people think, oh, the government, the city, the county, whatever it is, takes care of them. They don't. You have to use your sick time, your vacation time, then you go on industrial leave, which is about a third of your salary until you're able to go back to work. They can't afford to live on that. Wounded Blue is going to find these people and we're going to take care of the family until they can go back to work. And we've already got President Trump's police advisor on our team, which is going to lead us to all of these contacts in the corporate world. So that's what I do. That's how you can give back.
Again, because of time restrictions, just 2 questions for Frank. Anyone got a question?
What do you think can be done with the homeless population in Los Angeles and other major cities where it seems to be getting progressively worse and worse? And the mayors come up with some plans and stuff, but they seem inadequate and kind of misappropriation.
I just wanted to add a stat to that, which I found out the other day at Greg's event. 22 suicides a day in LA, and 78% of the homeless people are veterans living on the streets.
Right. And that's where the U.S. vet things come in. I can't answer for California. I live up in the mountains in Arizona, a little town called Prescott, about 48,000. But we do have the homeless situation there, especially the veterans, because we have the giant VA hospital up there. And that's why these veterans come up. Plus, we're a 4-season town, so they come up in the summer so they can avoid that heat down in Phoenix. But the biggest thing, again, is community involvement. Prescott, the little town of Prescott, came up with the idea they've put parking meters all over town, not to park cars, but you put the money in there, the money goes to the shelters, the little signs on there, just little ideas like that. But the biggest thing, again, is the community, get them involved, try and get them off the streets, the water things, the food, the clothes, so on. Have a standout type thing where they can get in, get shaved, get a haircut, whatever it might be, just to take care of them. Dental care, I helped a lady put together a dental clinic, a mobile van, and that's her nonprofit. She goes to these areas, a great big, huge, actually motorhome, where they go in and take care of dental work for the homeless people. But it's up to the community, it's up to your government to do something.
Yeah, I think that's the point, that the government doesn't seem to be able to do anything.
One of the things that I've learned, there is no they.
Yeah.
There is no they.
Yeah.
We're they. You're they, I'm they, he's they, we're they. That's it. The moment we start switching our mindset to I'm they, there's no more whinging, there's no more complaints. How do we get it sorted? I know it's a big challenge. I'm just saying, I'm just trying to establish kind of the right mindset. Is what can we do, what can I do to make a difference? Ask those questions and we'll start finding solutions. Another question. One more. Yes?
You give back so much. You're on many boards. You're very invested. Your heart is in it. How do you feel yourself?
How do I what?
How do you build yourself up?
How do I build
You
myself?
help, obviously, a lot of communities. How do you...
Fill your cup up. How do you...
That's a good question. One of the mistakes I've made, Les Brown, a famous speaker, always says, fill your own cup first. And then, meaning financially, so you can take care of your family, provide housing and everything else. And then when the overflow, you can start helping. My mistake was I never filled my cup, and I still haven't. So, but people still help me out. I'm grateful for everything we can do.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.